Hello everyone, I am Monica from IELTS 9 channel. So here we are going to do this reading passage titled To Catch a King. That is from test 1 and book number 17. Here you need to read after the title, you need to read this one also. Okay. So here what they are saying, Anna K reviews Charles Spencer's book. This person is reviewing Charles Spencer's book about the hunt for King Charles II during the English Civil War of 17th century. Got it? So after this, you just have a look at the passage. So this type of passage we have. Small paragraphs are there, but without any lettered word. Now look at the type of question. Now look at the types of question. First question we have, complete the summary using the list of phrases A to J. Okay, and these are the fill in the blanks and with the help of boxes. So you need to write these alphabet letters into this. First you will be reading it and going just matching the meaning. You will find the information, this information in passage, and then you will match the meaning and the word, and then you will just find out the synonyms for those answers. Okay, now second type of question we have yes, no, not given. Third we have MCQs. Okay, so let's start with first type of question. Now as you know, we have help box also. Now let's start reading this passage, the story behind the hunt for Charles II. Of course, this is first type of question. I will be looking this paragraph, these clues into my first paragraph only. If I will not find it, then I will go to the second paragraph. Okay, so here let's read it. Charles II father was executed by the parliamentarian forces in 1649. So this would be my important keyword for finding the location. And then Charles II then formed a dash with the Scots, and in order to become king of Scots, so of course this is also my, then formed a dash, something they have formed with the Scots, and in order to become king of Scots he abandoned an important dash that was held by his father and contributed to his father's death. Okay, let's go to the first paragraph. So here in the first paragraph I will be looking at that figure, that is 1649. So numerical figures are really very easy to find it. So let's read it from the first paragraph. To catch the story of hunt for, latest book To Catch a Story tells us the story of hunt for king. So these kinds of paragraphs you need to read it thoroughly actually, then you will get the correct answer. So in the 6 weeks after his resounding defeat at the Battle of Forster in September 1651, and what a story it is, after his father was executed by parliamentary in 1649, the young Charles II sacrificed one of very principles his father had died for, and a deal with the Scots. This was also there, thereby accepting this as a national religion in return for being crowned of King of Swedes. So now you look at the fill in the blanks as well as the passage side by side. I will show it to you. So Charles II then formed a dash with the Scots. So here, did Charles II sacrificed one of his principal's fathers died for, did a deal with the Scots. So it means a deal. So deal, so if we look at the options, military innovation, deal, no. So large reward, so new government, deal. A strategic alliance with the Scot. Okay, that is a deal. So you can read the another one also. Widespread conspiracy, decisive victory, popular solution. This will match, H will match. So we will write the answer here, H. Okay. Now the second one, he abandoned an important dash that was held by his father. Okay, so here it is given in this Charles II sacrificed and abandoned means the same, one of the very principles his father had died for. Okay, so he abandoned an important principle. Okay, principle. So for principle, what we can write? Innovation, safety, debate, religious conviction, large reward. Just a minute. Sacrificed one of the very principles of his father had died for. Okay, therefore, as a national religion in return for being crowned kings of scouts. So, in for the to become a crowned king of scouts, he sacrificed this principle, and just because of this, his father had died. Okay, so he abandoned an important. So, what we can safety, religious conviction, you can just put, or what we can just put widespread conspiracy. No, 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 no. So religious conviction, religious, yes, in the name of religion, yes, in the name of religion is also given, so we will write answer here J. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. That was okay, the opposing sides then met out this word. Okay, we will look for this. The battle led to a dash, means the battle result uh, that for the parliamentary and had to flee for his life. Okay, next in this paragraph I have to look for that word na. Yes, that word is here. Prompted the English parliamentary army to invade Scotland in this. This was followed by Scottish invitation. I will just do it like that. Two sides finally faced one another. This word is also there and this is also there. So after being comprehensively defeated on the meadow outside the city by parliamentary. So who was defeated? So Charles II was defeated by the parliamentary army. So 21-year-old king found himself the subject of a national manhunt. Escape. It means he was just he had just escaped from there with a huge sum offered for his capture. Okay, so now here what they are saying, the opposing sides, the two sides then met outside. Here the battle led to a for the parliamentary, so it means they won the game. So let's find the word. Military, no relative safely, this we have done, large reward, new government, widespread victory. So yes, this was victory for this for them. So I will writing it here I, no sorry F, this is F. And Charles had to flee for his life. Yes, we also have got this in the paragraph. So next, a dash was offered for Charles capture. Okay, yes, so, some huge amount. So for huge amount, what we can write, large reward. So it is B. After 6 weeks spent in hiding, he eventually managed to reach the dash of continental Europe. Okay, so Europe, I have to find out. So in the same paragraph, first paragraph, we have found this word also. Over the following 6 weeks, he managed through a series of heart-poundingly close escapes. It was also given to evade the parliamentaries before seeking refuge in France. For the next 9 years, the penniless wandered around Europe with a small group of loyal supporters. It means he was safe in Europe. Okay, let's read the question. So yes, he eventually managed to reach the safer place of continental Europe. Okay, so let's second one. It is saying relatively safety of continental Europe. So it means we will write here D answer. So let's move on to the yes, no, not given. So you can see this. So there are 4 questions, 32, 33, 34, 35. Let's read it. And as you know, when it is going to yes, no, not given, when there is some there are some claims by the writer. If the claims are same, yes. If they are contradicts, means no. And if there is no talking about that, not given. Let's read it. So first one is Charles chose Pepys for the task because he considered him to be trustworthy. He chose Pepys. So this is a different word. So this keyword is for location. And I'm just dividing this statement. If yes, if they are saying the same, if you got the same meaning in the passage, then definitely you will get a yes answer. And if they are saying Charles did not choose, Pepys for the task, then contradiction would be there, and he had chosen some other person instead of Pepys, then contradiction. And if he's saying he was not he was not trustworthy, then also contradiction. And if he is not discussing that whether he was considered as a trustworthy person or not, then definitely not given. Now, first paragraph I have completed till here. I have read it. Now let's read it from the second paragraph. And what I am going to look, Peppy. So important keyword is Peppy. Okay, so Peppy word is in the first line. With the writer, so what he is saying, after his restoration as king, the 50-year Charles requested a meeting with the writer and Samuel Pepys. His intention when asking Pepys to commit his story to paper was to ensure that his most extraordinary episode was never forgotten. Okay, so he called him to write everything and about his extraordinary story. Over 2-3 hours sitting, the king related to him in great detail his personal recollections of the 6 weeks he had spent as a fugitive. Fugitive means someone who had just escaped from captivity and all, who is just running and running. Okay, without any aim. So as the king and secretary settle down, this is surely a gift for the future. Okay, so now we have read the whole paragraph almost. Charles commenced his story after the battle was so absolutely lost to be beyond hope of recovery. I began to think of the best way of saving myself. Means Charles that he is thinking about. Okay, so in these kinds of paragraph, you need to read the paragraph thoroughly. Now let's go to the question. Now, first question, he is saying he called Pepys for the task, but never he had not written anything in the paragraph that whether he was trustworthy or not. So answer is not given. Okay. So 33rd, Charles' personal recollection of the escape lacked sufficient detail. So if it was having sufficient detail, then it would be yes. It would be no. And if there would be less detail, then yes, of course. And there is no description about any personal recollection, personal experience, and then not given. Okay, but yes, they were explaining it in the paragraph. They were after sitting for 2-3 hours. So here you can see was okay. A story paper to most extraordinary people was never. One of the 3 hours sitting, the king related to him in great detail his personal recollection. So everything is given. So it means it is contradicting. Okay, so answer is no, it is contradicting. So lacked sufficient, here in the passage it was given in great detail. So 34, Charles indicated to Pepys that he had planned his escape before the battle. So of course we have read first paragraph also, second paragraph also. No, it is not that. So indicated to Pepys that he had planned. So if they are talking about planning and all, then definitely yes. If they are not talking about any planning, indications about, then not given. Yes, if they are saying that without saying anything that he had planned or not, then of course contradiction. Means if there is no planning, then it is contradiction. And then you can, if there is a planning, then it is yes. Let's read the statement. So king settled down. So everything, if you read at this statement now, so nothing, they have not shown anything. And of course we have read first one also, there was no planning at all. So it means our answer is no. Okay, he had planned. So he indicated to Pepys, no, he had not planned for any escape, anything. So 35th, the inclusion of Charles' account is a positive aspect of the book. If it was a positive and good aspect of the book, then yes. If it was giving a negative thing, negative message to the readers, then it would be no. Contradiction would be there. And of course you can see not given, no, the answer would be yes. So without saying, the answer would be yes, I'm telling you. Okay, or you can see in the next paragraph, one of the joys of Spencer's book. Joys of Spencer's book, a result not least of its use of Charles' own narrative as well as those of supporter, is just how close the reader gets to the action. So it means when reader gets to the action, how close the reader gets to the action, and you can say everything. You can say that this book was having a positive aspect of the book. Okay, the day by day, everything they have explained it very clearly, and with these lines you can always say yes. And uh, whenever you have less time, of course, when you have not given no no no, yes, you can always put. Okay, now let's come to the MCQ. Do you know how to do it? Oh, you have to understand this statement. If you don't understand this statement, you can't find it. You will not be able to understand the meaning of these. You can't match it. So what is the reviewer's main purpose in the first paragraph? So of course, first paragraph we have already done. So in the paragraph they were telling about the Charles II and all. And in the first paragraph, if you look at this first line, Charles Spencer's latest book, To Catch a Thief, tells us the story of the hunt for King Charles II in 6 weeks after his resounding. So everything they are describing about Charles II. Let's read the option to describe what happened during the battle of this. No, this name is only given at once, and what happened? No, to give an account. So I will cut it. To give an account of the circumstances leading to Charles to escape. So this is the answer. Yes. To provide details of political views. No. So although it was they were describing about this, but the main hero is here this person. To compare belief with those of his father. No, no comparison was given actually. So let's move on to the 37. Why does the reviewer include examples of fugitive behavior in the third paragraph? Now we have to read third paragraph. Half of the paragraph we have read. So why this reviewer include this example of fugitive behavior in this third paragraph? So let's read it. To explain how close Charles came to losing his life. To suggest that Charles II supporters were badly prepared. To illustrate how the events of the six are brought to life. Okay. To argue that the certain aspects are not as well known as they should be. Okay, let's read the third paragraph. So this is my third paragraph. I will be doing it. So half of the us we have already read. Now let's do it like that. One of the joys of Spencer book, as a result not least on narrative as well as of is just how close the reader gets to the action. The day by day retelling of the fugitive doings provides delicious detail. The cutting of king's long hair. So this is also one example. Another example, the use of walnut leaves to dye his pale skin. So this kind of reading you have to do like that only. You have to read it fast. And the day Charles spent lying on a branch of great oak tree in this Parliament Soldiers' Court, the Spencer draws out both the humor. Okay. Now because reviewers, look at the question. Why does reviewer include examples? He want to have some kind of humor as well as, you can see, Spencer draws out both the humor such as the prosperities refusal of Charles' friends Henry Volmer to adopt this, that it was beneath his dignity, and the emotional tension when the secret of king's presence was cautiously revealed to his supporters. So actually he has included all these things to show what kind of life Charles was going on. Okay, so you can see 37th, to explain came to losing his life. No, so this was, he did not lost his life, lose his life. To suggest that Charles II supporters were badly prepared. No, supporters word was there, but they were not badly prepared. To illustrate how events of six are brought to life. So events to illustrate means this example. So this is the answer. To argue that certain aspects are not well known as they should not be. This is not the thing. So now let's move on to the 38. What point does the reviewer make about Charles II in the fourth paragraph? In the fourth paragraph, now we have to read, what point does the reviewer make about Charles II? He chose to celebrate what was essentially a defeat. He misunderstood the motives of his opponents. I don't think so. He aimed to restore people's faith. in monarchy. He was driven by a desire to desire. Let's read fourth paragraph. So this is the fourth paragraph. Let's read it thoroughly. Okay. Charles' adventures after losing the battle of this hide the uncomfortable truth that whilst everyone in England had been appalled by the execution of his father, they had not welcomed the arrival of his son with the Scots army, but had instead firmly bolted their doors. They did not welcome this Charles too. Okay, this was partly because he rode at the head of what looked like a foreign invasion force, partly because after almost a decade of civil war, people were desperate to avoid it beginning again. Okay, they did not welcome, and as well as they don't want to do it again. This makes it all the more interesting that Charles too himself loved the story so much even after that. He loved his own story as well as retelling it to anyone who would listen, causing he set in train a series of initiative to memorize. There was to be a new order of chivalry, the Knights of Royal, a series of enormous oil painting depicting the episode were produced. So 2 meter wide canvas. So who can do this? Those who usually enjoy his or her life, they can do this instead of repenting on something. So and a set of six similarly so in every painting he was showing his own escapism, and so he had to flee like that. So enormous painting of the king on the run. In 1660, Charles took commission the artist John Michael Wright to paint a flying squadron of cherubs carrying an oak tree to the heavens. So everything he is just enjoying. It is hard to imagine many other kings marking the lowest point in their life so enthusiastically. So it is hard to imagine that these kings, those who were not in power, so in their life, so enthusiastically or indeed pulling off such an escape in the first place. So this event he is putting in the first place. Okay, it means he was enjoying his life. So what is 39th question says, what point does the writer make about Charles in the fourth paragraph? So what do you think about it? He chose to celebrate what was essentially a defeat. He chose to celebrate. So he was celebrating it. He was enjoying everything. What was actually it was his defeat. He misunderstood the motives of his opponent. So nothing they had described about like that. He aimed to restore people's faith. No, he was not aiming. In fact, people were not welcoming to him. He was driven by his desire to be popular. No, so nothing they have described about any popular, whether he wanted to become a popular person or not. Okay, so 39th, what does the reviewer say about Charles Spencer in the fifth paragraph? Now again we have to read the fifth paragraph, but before that let's read the options. His decision to write the book as a surprise. So if it was a surprise, then we will take this answer. He takes an unbiased approach to the subject matter. So what does the reviewer say about Charles Spencer? Now Charles Spencer, person who has written that book. Okay, his descriptions of events would be better if they include more detail. He chooses language, so if they may be describing about any language for the 20th century 21st century audience, then that would be the answer. Let's read the fifth paragraph. Now this is the fifth paragraph. So I already told you in these kinds of passages, please read the paragraph thoroughly. Charles Spencer is a perfect, so this is my fifth paragraph, is the perfect person to pass the story on a new generation. Okay, his pacey, readable prose steers deftly clear of modern idioms, elegantly brings to life details of great tale. So there is no language description. He has even handed sympathy for both the fugitive king and the fierce republican regime that hunted him. So sympathy, he has even sympathy for both this Charles too also, and for parliamentary also, that they had hunted him. And he succeeds in his desire to explore far more of the background, and he succeeds this person's to explore far more of the background of the story than previous books on the subject have done. than those writers that who had already written books on this person, but he was different. Indeed, the opening third of the book is about how Charles II found himself this in the first place, which for some will be reason alone to read Catch a King. Okay, so let's move on to the options. So yes, first we have read this question, and then options, and then we have read the paragraph, fifth paragraph, and then we will come to know the actual this thing. His decision to write the as a surprise. There was no surprise. He takes an unbiased approach to the subject matter. Unbiased, yes, it was given unbiased approach. I will tell you, his descriptions of events would be better if they include more details. So this is not given. So in this paragraph, at least it was not given. He chooses language, so there is no language description. So this is the right approach, unbiased approach. So I will show you. So unbiased. So he has even handed sympathy for both the parties, fugitive king as well as republic that hunted, means parliamentary persons. Okay, so that is the answer. Let's move on to the 40th question. When the reviewer says the book doesn't quite hit the mark, when the reviewer says the book doesn't quite hit the mark, she is making the point. Now this line, this thing, we will get the same exact in the paragraph. So we have left with last paragraph. So let's read the options. It overlooks the impact of events on ordinary people. Okay, so we have to look for this also, and overlook impact also. It lacks an analysis of prevalent views on monarchy. It omits any reference to the deceit practiced by Charles during his time in hiding. It fails to address why Charles II experiences had a lasting influence on him. Let's go to the paragraph. So this is my sixth paragraph. Okay, last paragraph. Let's read it. The tantalizing question left in the end is that what it all meant. Would Charles II have been a different king had these 6 weeks never happened? These days and nights spent in hiding must have affected him in some way. Must have affected in some way. Affected, and impact word was also there. You can see impact was also there. Okay, but let's read the full paragraph. These dates and must have affected him in some way. Did the need to assume disguises, to survive on weight, charm alone, to use trick and to escape from tight corners, help from him? This is the one area where book doesn't quite hit the mark. So this is the thing they were describing in question. Instead, its depiction of Charles II in final years as an ineffective, pleasure-loving monarch doesn't do justice to the man or to the complexity of his character, but this one Nigel said to catch is an excellent read. So that question we were having in yes no not question, yes no not, I will show it to you. You can say is a positive aspect of the book. Here it shows it is the answer. Okay, and those who come to it knowing little of the famous tale will find they have a treat in store. So have been a different king had these never happened. These days spent in hiding must have affected in him. Did the need, and here instead where this word along with corners help, this is the one area where book doesn't quite hit the mark. Okay, let's read the option. So the 40 question number. When the reviewer says the book doesn't quite hit the mark, she is making point at it overlooks the impact of events on ordinary people. So no, so impact word was there, but not for ordinary people. It lacks an analysis of prevalent views on monarchy. It lacks and no, nothing was like that. Only monarchy was there. It omits any reference to the deceit practiced by Charles II during his life in hiding. It omits any reference. No, everything they had explained it. So this is also wrong. Now we have left this. It fails to address whether Charles' experiences had a lasting influence on him or not. Yes, this we can match it. Okay, so everything they are not matching it, that's why I have matched it, and it fails to address whether these experiences, whatever he was doing during his escapism, had a lasting influence of on him or not. So actually he was enjoying it on whether by the form of pictures and all. Okay, now I hope you must have understood this reading. So this reading we have completed with your help. Thank you so much.